Hi, this is Mrs. MacPhee. It's January 14th, 2016, and this is a video for my Common Core 6 classes. A lot of you did a really good job this week on proportions and ratio tables, but when we had problems that involved decimals, you had some concerns, and I promised you that I would have this video ready for you, and I want to thank you for coming to me with your questions. So thanks for letting me help you. We're going to go ahead and solve using a ratio table, and then I will actually show you the way that your mom and your dad and I probably learned as kids. And if that strategy works for you, that's fine. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to take my first ratio and use it to start my ratio table. So 0 and 6/10 and 9 and 4/10, and that's going to equal whatever this number g is that we're solving for, and 4 and 7/10. All right. When I have numbers that have decimals in them, I'm going to think, how can I get rid of the decimal? And in this case, since they're both tenths, I can multiply both by 10, and that's going to give me 6 and 94. Already that problem looks a lot simpler. Now I'm going to ask myself, is there any way I can change 94 into 4 and 7/10? You know, not off the top of my head. But what I do notice is that 6 and 94 are even. So I'm going to divide them by 2, because sometimes making the number simpler is going to help me see a relationship. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 94 divided by 2, let's write it out. 2 goes into 9 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. Bring down our 4. 2 goes into 14. Whoa, 7 times. All right, that's awesome. 94 divided by 2 then is 47. All right, how can I get 47 to change into 4 and 7/10? Well, just like in the beginning of the problem, I could multiply by 10 to move my decimal one place and make the number larger. I can divide by 10 to change my 47 into 4 and 7/10, which means I can divide 3 divided by 10 and get 3/10. 3 divided by 10, or the decimal, 3/10. So either version of that answer is what we're going to have for J. Now, when your folks were in school and I was in school, we used something called cross multiplication. And we talked a little bit about cross products when we talked about if two ratios formed a proportion. And again, I'm going to show you the strategy. It's a little bit more complicated than what we just did, but if this strategy works for you, then that's great. Because one of the nice things about Common Core is we're going to teach you a lot of different methods, and hopefully one of those is going to make sense to you. And by having multiple strategies, you have lots of different ways to solve a problem, and you never have to be stuck. So cross multiplication means we multiply going across. 9 and 4/10 times g is proportional or equal to 4 and 7/10 times 6/10. So I've got some multiplication now to do. When I multiply these two together, I get 2 and 82/100. And now I don't want 9 and 4/10 g, I just want g. So I'm going to divide both sides by 9 and 4/10, because any number divided by itself, like 2 divided by 2, or 5 divided by 5, or 9 and 4/10 divided by 9 and 4/10 is 1. And I'm going to get g all by itself. But in math, you have to respect that equal sign. So if I divide one side by 9 and 4/10, I have to divide the other side by 9 and 4/10. Good golly. So that is 2 and 82/100 divided by 9 and 4/10. So now we've got some division with decimals. Again, ratio table, got to skip some of this. I'm going to multiply both numbers by 10, because when I divide, I need to divide by a whole number. 94 won't go into 28, so there's my 0 as my placeholder. I'm going to use something now called front-end estimation, which means I'm just going to look at the front of each number. 9 times what gets me close to 28? Well, 9 times 3 is 27. So I'm going to try 3. If I'm wrong, the nice thing about front-end estimation is I'm only going to be wrong by like 1 digit or so. And it's a much quicker strategy to use front-end estimation than just to do on the side 9 and 4/10 times 1, 9 and 4/10 times 2, 9 and 4/10 times 4, until you get the right answer. So 4 times 3 is 12, carry the 1. 3 times 9 is 27, plus 1 is 28, and 1 digit behind the decimal. Oh, look at that. Perfect. So we get 282. And we still get 3/10 for G. I hope that helps with your homework. If there's a decimal, multiply by 10. If there's 2 digits behind the decimal, multiply by 100. And that will help make your numbers whole numbers. And from there, you have some pretty good strategies I've been noticing in class to solve your ratio tables. Great job, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.